So these wonderful tithis, according to our Vaishnava Acharyas, they are called Madhava Tithi, Bhakti Janani. The word Janani means one who gives birth. And Madhav Tithi means these auspicious days, just like we are celebrating today Balaram Purnima, the appearance of Shri Balaram Prabhu. So these tithis are Janani of Bhakti. They give birth to Bhakti, just like Ekadashi is also Madhava Tithi, Janmashtami, Radhashtami, etc. So when we speak of personalities like Balaramji, Srila Prabhupada, when he introduced Krishna consciousness in the Western world, starting from America, the conception over there, people who were coming to Krishna consciousness at that time, they didn't even know whether God exists. So from that level, does God exist? Giving them not just the name of God. Prabhupada said that, this movement should be named Krishna consciousness, not just God consciousness. So giving them name of God, Prabhupada, even one of his lectures, he said when the question was asked that, how would you define God? Prabhupada said, what to speak of definition of God? I can give you everything, all details. His name, his address, his family members, his pastimes, his activities, what he does every hour of the day. Such details people, even back in India, were not used to when trying to know God. So herein, Prabhupada was introducing to these laymen a conception of God which was so far out for them. God having a blue complexion, God who is a cowherd boy, who plays flute, who lives in a village, who not just eats butter but steals it in order to eat it. And his worship for being a thief. What to speak of all of this? Then Prabhupada introduced the family members. So here we are celebrating one of the closest family member of the Supreme Personality of God. In the Western conception of God, especially in the Abrahamic religion, forget about form of God, God having a complexion. Here is God having family members. Today is also Raksha Bandhan. So Raksha Bandhan, we have Jagannath, who doesn't just come alone, but Jagannath comes along with brother and sister. We have Baldev, Balabhadra and Subhadra. I was requested to speak a little bit about Subhadra also today, since today is Raksha Bandhan. So just for 5 minutes I'll speak a little bit about Subhadra. Not much is spoken about Subhadra. How many of you know that Subhadra, who was the mother of Subhadra? How is Subhadra connected to Krishna and Balaram? Who was the mother of Subhadra? Rohini was the mother of Subhadra. So, in our Puranas, it is mentioned that Subhadra Devi, in her previous life, she was named Madhavi. She was daughter of one great rishi called Galav Rishi. And this Galav Rishi, he was so advanced that he could just, whenever he wanted, he could walk into Vaikuntha to have darshan of Lord Narayan. He was so advanced. So when Madhavi, Galav Rishi's daughter, when she reached the age 10, so she was very much wanting, praying, wishing to have direct darshan of Lakshmi Narayan. So Galav Rishi, because he had free access, So he decided to first time, take his daughter Madhavi to have darshan of Lakshmi Narayan in Vaikuntha. So as soon as Madhavi, imagine seeing Lakshmi Narayan face to face, and Lord Narayan, he was lying on Sheshanag, resting, and Lakshmi, she was massaging his feet. So Madhavi, little, just 10-year-old girl, she started, when she looked at Sheshanag, she was very much fascinated and she started to jump on Sheshanag, and she wanted to play with Sheshanag. And seeing this, Lakshmi, because the mood of Vaikuntha is quite serious, it's not like Vrindavan. So Lakshmi, she didn't like this. So she cursed Madhavi that next life you'll be born Ashwamukhi. Ashwamukhi means horse-faced. So that was the curse given. And as soon as Sheshanag is Balaram and Lord Vishnu, when they heard that, from Lakshmi, so they first stopped Lakshmi, rebuked her, and then they blessed and promised this little Madhavi that don't worry, even though she has cursed you, but we bless that we'll become your brothers. So who? Sheshanag and Vishnu, both of them together, they gave the blessings, the benediction to Madhavi that next life will become your brother. So that's how when she was born from the womb of Rohini, so she becomes the direct sister of Balaramji and the half sister of Lord Krishna. And later on in the Mahabharata it's mentioned that how Krishna arranged for Subhadra to marry Arjun. And when Subhadra, in fact when she was born, because Lakshmi had also cursed, so she was born with the face of a horse. And then Krishna and Balaram, they did tapasya and they pleased Lord Brahma and invoked Lord Brahma's presence over there. And Lord Brahma then gave a facelift to, you can say, to Madhavi, who was Ashwamukhi, and she became Bhadra. So that was the beautiful face which she got by the tapa of Krishna and Balaram, bringing Brahmaji in order to bless. And Brahmaji blessed this little baby girl with a beautiful face, and because her face was beautiful, which is also called Bhadra, so she was called as Subhadra. And later on when Krishna arranged Subhadra to marry Arjun, so it was quite a, sometimes in these movies you might find how in a very adventurous way when the bride has been kidnapped. So in that way Mahabharata mentions how Krishna arranged Arjun to kidnap Subhadra. And Balaramji at that point of time, he didn't know that what Krishna was planning, but later on he was very happy with his decision. But then the most difficult part for Arjun was to introduce Subhadra to Draupadi. That was the most difficult part. So when, of course, Subhadra knew all about Draupadi, the celebrated wife of all the Pandavas, the daughter of Drupad. So as Subhadra is approaching the chambers of Draupadi, first she bows down and meets Kunti, and Kunti, she not just welcomes Subhadra, but she embraces Subhadra and treats her so wonderfully. But then after that, Subhadra, she removes all her royal paraphernalia and she approaches Draupadi as her maidservant. So as Draupadi, of course, she knows that Arjun has recently married another lady who is called Subhadra, and she has come here and she wants to meet. And Draupadi is in her inner chambers lying down, and Subhadra comes like a maid, dressed like a maid, and she touches the feet of Draupadi. And as soon as Draupadi is touched by Subhadra's feet, Subhadra also touches the heart of Draupadi, and Draupadi at that point of time, her heart melts and she accepts Subhadra as her younger sister. So of course there are more details about how, Draupadi then instructs Subhadra about the various aspects of, especially dealing with Arjuna and other Pandavas. But then in the Srimad Bhagavatam it is mentioned that this same Subhadra, who is also called as Yogamaya, was very much instrumental in the appearance of Balaram. Does anyone know how Yogamaya is instrumental in the appearance of Balaramji? So Balaramji, he was initially born in the womb of Devaki. And Krishna instructs Yogamaya, so Yogamaya transfers Balaramji from the womb of Devaki to the womb of Rohini. And that's how herein this is like another level of medical technology, wherein you have one embryo born from two wombs. So generally we see the other way around, twins born from one womb, but here is one child born from two wombs. That is high level advanced medical technology which was used by Yogamaya. And Yogamaya is the same who later on took the form of Subhadra. So of course Yogamaya, Subhadra was born from Yashoda and the transfer took place. So this is in brief about Subhadra Devi and how Raksha Bandhan and how Krishna and Balaram, they promised their sister for protecting her. But today we are celebrating Balaram Purnima, Balaram Jayanti, and these two wonderful brothers, the awesome twosome. In our scripture it is mentioned that Krishna and Balaram, they were like, decorating each other. They would ornament each other in every aspect of Nam, Rupa, Guna, Leela of theirs. So whenever Krishna was performing his Leelas, Krishna acquiring different names through different Leelas, it was always Balaramji who was accompanying in every Leela of Krishna in Vrindavan and outside of Vrindavan. In fact, Balaramji is one personality who was always with Krishna in Vrindavan, in Mathura, in Dwarka, in Ujjain. You know what is the significance of Krishna and Balaram in Ujjain?
Sandipani Ashram.
They went to the Gurukul of Sandipani Muni, which is in Ujjain. So wherever Krishna was there, just like in Ram Leela you have Lakshman, those times, and even now you see that, if when Ram was exiled, there was no need for, and Lakshman was not obliged to go with Ram. In fact, Sita was, but Ram never expected that Lakshman, nobody expected that Lakshman would join for 14 years along with Ram. But because it is said that Lakshman, Balabhadra, Nityananda, they are like shadows of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and wherever a person goes, the shadow follows. So Lakshman is like, and Balaramji is like the shadow. So the example is given that how they ornament each other, just like you have a golden ring which has diamond studded on it. So Krishna is like the diamond, and the ring, the gold ring on which this diamond is studded, is Balaram. So he is called the ultimate and the supreme admirer of Krishna to begin with. Nobody has admired Krishna so much as Balaramji has admired, because Balaramji, who is, according to Chaitanya Charitamrita, he is like the second body of Krishna. He is the first expansion of Krishna and knows in and out about Krishna, always has been, will be eternally so close to Krishna. But still, even though he is so close to Krishna, he is in one sense not different from Krishna, but he is always fascinated by Krishna and Krishna's activities. Like in Brahma Vimohan Leela, it was Brahmaji who was Vimohit, who was bewildered seeing the Leelas of Krishna, the Braj Leelas of Krishna. But for that 1 year, when Balaramji didn't know what happened for that 1 year, when Krishna expanded himself into all the cows, calves and the cowherd boys. And Balaramji, when he saw the interaction of practically all of them who are now Krishna, and they were interacting with the other gopis, which means who were so much in love with Krishna. And Balaramji was observing all of this, and nobody told him that what had happened. Krishna never told Balaramji, but Balaramji was fascinated and he was admiring Krishna. In fact, he took Krishna to a corner and asked that, tell me something, there is for this 1 year, there is something is, brewing up in Vrindavan, which I can sense that you have done something with these cowherd boys, cows and calves, that, I have never seen this kind of interaction of all of them with their family members. It means that you have expanded. So in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, I found a very interesting verse wherein Balaramji, apart from being the Adi Guru, he is also the Adi Guru. Of all the Gurus, he is the founder Acharya of all the Acharyas, in one sense. He is addressed as the source of Bhakta Abhiman. Now, Abhiman is something which is not a very positive trait. You all, must have heard of this word Abhiman. We have to be Abhiman Shunya in order to chant the holy name. But herein, in this beautiful verse, Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami, when he is glorifying Balaramji, kindly repeat after me, he is beginning with these two words. Bhakta Abhimana Mula Shri Balarame Sei Bhave Anugata Tandra Amsha Gane. So herein, Bhakta Abhimana Mula Shri Balaram. Who is Shri Balaram? Who has the Abhiman of being the Bhakta of Krishna. Which means that if we want to cultivate Abhiman, which means if one has to become egoistic, then become egoistic as the servitor of Krishna, as a devotee of Krishna. So herein, Srila Prabhupada translates this verse like this. The source of the sentiment of servitude is indeed Lord Balaram. The plenary expansions who follow him are all influenced by that ecstasy, which means if somebody says that what is the kind of feeling or emotion you are having as you address yourself as Krishnadas, in the footsteps, following the footsteps of Balaramji, we can proudly say, or herein the word is used, egoistically we can say that yes, I am Krishnadas, because the source of that ego or that Abhiman is Balaramji, in which he is complementing that ego, and he is complementing the attitude of being the servant of Krishna. And as Prabhupada translates over here, in the second line it says, Sei bhave anugata tandra amshagane. And all those following the footsteps of Balaramji who wants to become Krishnadas, servant of Krishna, should inherit this ecstasy, this ecstatic sentiment of being Bhakta Abhimani. So I found this very interesting, because you see, on our way to this place, we were discussing how Balaramji, he expands and serves Krishna in all 5 rasas. So we have Shanta, we have Dasya, we have Sakya, we have Vatsalya, we have Madhurya, these 5 rasas. So Shanta is, Balramji expands himself in Shri Vrindavan Dham. And everything in Shri Vrindavan Dham is nothing but Balramji himself. So whatever Krishna uses, if I may say, we find in this Kali Yuga, especially in the material world, people, Krishna Balaram, Ki Jai, Gauritai, Ki Jai, Shri Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra, Ki Jai. So we see that in this material world, people are very brand conscious. If I have to use something, it has to be only this brand, Gucci, Louis Vuitton, I don't know, I just remembered few brands. So people are so much brand conscious. I can say that our Krishna is also very brand conscious. In Vrindavan, whatever is on his body is Balaram brand. His shoes, Adidas. That was a good one. He is the Adi of all Das. So everything is Balaram brand. Adidas. His shoes, Krishna's dhoti, Krishna's turban, Krishna's jewelry, whatever he wears on his body, his clothing, everything is Balaram brand. So that is Shantaras. In fact, the entire Vrindavan Dham is nothing but Shri Balaramji. Wherever Krishna walks, that's all Balaramji. Then Balaramji serves Krishna in Dasyaras. Many times in Vrindavan, when Krishna would be tired, herding the cows or playing with other cowherd boys, Balaramji would massage Krishna's feet, would in fact even lift Krishna and take Krishna back to Nanda Bhavan. So as a servant he would play that role. Then Sakyaras. Balaramji also, in fact there are numerous pastimes wherein Balaramji as his Sakha is enacting such wonderful pastimes. There is one of these Brajvasis, he was narrating this Lokakatha from Vrindavan, that one day Balaramji as a Sakha, he was very much curious to test Krishna's flute and Krishna's more piece, the peacock feather which Krishna wears on his turban. So Balaramji, for one day, he said that, can I borrow your flute and your peacock feather? Now, Krishna, he knew that, it's quite a heavy responsibility to wear the peacock feather and have Krishna's flute. It's not just for fun, Krishna was having it. So what happened, why Krishna was warning Balaramji, as Balaramji wanted to borrow those two things. Because Kamsa was sending, that was the time Kamsa was sending so many demons to Vrindavan to kill Krishna. And Kamsa had summoned Keshi. Now Keshi, all of these demons, when Kamsa would summon them, Kamsa would specifically send them to kill Krishna. And here, when Keshi was sent, so generally these you find that what do you call them, hitmen. They are given the description that okay, this is a photo and this is the address. So Kamsa was sending all these hitmen with the description of Krishna. And what was the description? Only one description. There is only one person who plays flute and who wears a peacock feather. That's it. Go, he's the target. So Keshi, with that description, he came, and fortunately, unfortunately, it was that same day when Balaramji had borrowed from Krishna, just for some time, for a day, Krishna's flute and peacock feather. So Keshi, when he saw, now Balaramji, so thinking that this is Krishna, so he came in the form of a horse and he kicked. And as soon as Balaramji from behind, the first thing, he was expecting that, there will be some magical thing which will happen because, Krishna's flute and Krishna's peacock feather, they have some magical powers in them, and the first thing which happens is he gets a kick. And Balaramji is rolling on Brajaraja, and for a mile he's rolling and he falls away, for a mile apart. And then immediately after that, of course, Balaramji had all the power to kill Keshi, but Balaramji knew that he is reserved for Krishna, because Balaramji had his own demons to be delivered. And so there was a list that, okay, these demons will be delivered by Balaramji, these demons will be delivered by Krishna. So Keshi was in the list of being delivered by Krishna. So Balaramji, immediately when he goes back to Krishna and he hands over that, good that you warned me, and now I come to know that it's a heavy, huge responsibility to have this flute and peacock. So as a Sakha, another Brajvasi, I remember he was once mentioning that, Balaramji, he, along with other cowherd boys once, he asked Krishna that, Krishna, have you ever noticed that, you are like the black sheep of the family? And Balaramji was trying to make fun of Krishna in front of other cowherd boys. And what do you mean, black sheep of the family? See, Yashoda, she's fair complexion. Nanda Maharaj is fair complexion. Rohini is fair complexion. I am fair complexion. So, if we go to test our DNA, we'll be of the same clan, we'll be of the same genetics. But look at you. Just looking at your complexion, I'm having serious doubts. That, are you really son of Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj? Are you really from, our Vaishya community here? And everyone, we never thought of this. All of them, they started to make fun. And then Krishna, he started to almost, he broke down, he was crying. And Balaramji, in order to even further agitate Krishna, he said, I'll tell you the secret because, I'm elder to you. So I know the secret. That actually Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda, they bought you from a market. Like in India, there is a Guruvar market, very famous. Practically every city and town, they have once a week, it's called the Guruvar market. So here in Balaramji, so this Brajvasi was telling that Balaramji is the Adi Guru, which means Guruvar market. So it goes from there. So here in Balaramji, who is as a Sakha, playing with Krishna. Then as in Vatsalya Ras, Balaramji, he many times, he instructs Krishna, he takes care of Krishna, protects Krishna. And in Madhurya Ras, this is very unusual that Balaramji expands himself as Ananga Manjari and as younger sister of Radharani. And there also he is. So like I said in the beginning that how Balaramji, wherever Krishna is performing any of the rasas in any of these five, and also one very special service which Balaramji does is Viparita Rasa, in which he trains Duryodhan. Because if he wouldn't have trained Duryodhan, Duryodhan wouldn't have dared to come to fight against the Pandavas and brought all the others which Krishna had the master plan of having all of them assembled on the battlefield of Kurukshetra and vanquishing all of them. So lack of time today, we had lot many things to discuss, but since things we have to rush up, I was told that this hall we only have till 10:30. We have to hand it back. So to conclude, I would just say one thing. When Srila Prabhupada was asked about Balaramji, Srila Prabhupada said that for a devotee, if you are facing with any untoward situation, any problems, then approach Balaramji. Balaramji was the original counselor in Vrindavan. Like in ISKCON we have the mentorship system. So the original mentor in Vrindavan, the counselor, is Balaramji. And in fact, Prabhupada many times, when while managing the ISKCON society, he would instruct his disciples. He himself also, one of the reasons he established Krishna Balaram in Vrindavan, that Krishna Balaram in Vrindavan, the Raman Reti area, is the area where Krishna Balaram would perform their childhood pastimes. So any problems, any issues, all over ISKCON, if a devotee individually or collectively is facing, should approach Balaramji. So today is the day wherein these personalities, they are the most merciful on their appearance day. So instructed by Srila Prabhupada, anything we are facing, any upheavals in our life, any problems, we have to approach Balaramji. And yes, in Hindi, for a solution, in Hindi it's called Hal. And Balaramji, he carries what? He carries the Hal, the plow. In Hindi it's called Hal. And Hal also in Hindi means solution. So if you want solutions for all the problems which we might be facing, Balaramji is the person. He has the Hal. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hi, Shri Krishna Balaram ki Jai.
Hare Krishna. So thank you, Shikshashtakam Prabhu. We're so fortunate to have the association. Unfortunately, because of time constraints, we didn't get the full nectar that you're going to inaugurate us today. So thank you, and once again let's express our deep sense of gratitude to Shikshashtakam Prabhu by loudly saying Hari Bol. Hari Bol!